Welcome to the Casual Nerdcast. I'm your host, Justin. This week we're running down one person. Amel basically went to the gym and fainted.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, he said he
Worked
was
out too hard.
deprived with some sleep. I was with him at the gym today. He was deprived of some sleep, and he was just really weak by the time he got home. Anyways, enough about Amel. Joining us for this evening is Andrew
Vegetables make you stronger.
and Evan.
But pizza tastes good.
Hmm.
But according to some schools, pizza is a vegetable.
No, pizza's yeah, vegetable.
Yeah.
Or is it a fruit? No, vegetable.
But tomatoes a
Yeah,
fruit
it's a
though.
vegetable.
Tomato sauce, yeah.
But tomatoes a
It's a
fruit.
vegetable in the States because I forget who passed it, but they passed a law or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, internet, but it was like a law that said only healthy food could be served in schools.
Yeah.
So they classified pizza as a vegetable so they could still have pizza days.
Yeah. Makes sense. All right. So I guess we'll start off by mentioning. I guess the main topic we wanted to mention was PewDiePie. You would.
I don't know. Yeah. So PewDiePie's been kind of huge in the gaming world recently. He has been kind of growing in fame for a long time now.
He was
I
on
wonder
South
if-
Park.
Sorry? Yeah, he was on South Park.
You got his own episode.
If you watch his videos, he even like goes to a couple. He went to a couple movie premieres. I forget exactly which movies and stuff, but he's been getting pretty big. I'm just wondering what your guys' thoughts on him were.
Yeah. It's very interesting because he is probably the only YouTuber. Actually, it's fascinating because he has the most subscribers in probably YouTube's existence. Like
Yeah,
it's
he has the most. He's number one.
yeah, he's got 34 million there, which is really impressive. And it's even more interesting that all he does is just gameplay videos. I remember watching a lot of. There was a video that I think it was by the game theorists. They were saying that there were a lot of contributing factors that even like beyond PewDiePie's power that actually made him a lot more popular. So one of them being was he moved a lot. I remember that he said the video mentioned that he lived at some point in 3 different countries, I think it was.
Yeah.
So anytime he uploaded his videos in like a different country, he'd be able to geographically expand and be able to expand his content a bit more, and that really widens up his viewership. On top of that, he's really easy to watch. He avoids any kind of complications. Like most of his videos are fun. Personally, I'm not a fan. It's just not something I watch, but like I can definitely see the appeal.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. What about you, Andrew?
Andrew?
What do you think?
Well, it is interesting because it's sort of like video gaming is getting its first real like celebrity
Mhm.
because he doesn't make video games. He doesn't like he's not some like super critic or something. He just plays video games and he lets people watch, and he sort of expanded to playing video games with these people at this point. Kind of like with his community, like it's his PewDiePie community.
I think he's.
So
I forget who he calls it. Oh, bros.
the bro, yeah. Hey, bro, yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, so it is. Yeah, like interesting is the only word I have for it. I don't. There's no. Like, oh, this is just like when this happened, because this is like really new to me, and I think civilization in general. Like, he's not even the same as like a movie celebrity or like. It's I don't know. There's something different about it, and I'm not sure what this means. I guess this just means that people like to watch other people play video games.
So personally, for me, I don't necessarily like the way that he's a little too crazy for me. But I think that video gaming really, really needs somebody like this right now, especially because if you look at any other big, gaming celebrity, on YouTube, like Total Biscuit, Angry Video Game Nerd, all those, like all these kind of people, right? That just kind of play games, and a lot of people do watch them, or even like Game Grumps, like Ego Raptor and stuff like that. They're all very cynical and very angry and very mad all the time, right? Like Total Biscuit is literally called the cynical bread or something.
Yes.
And PewDiePie, if you watch any of his videos, he loves games and he plays them and he just enjoys them. Even if they're shit games, he's like, yeah, that was fun. I had a lot of fun playing this bad game because it made me laugh and stuff. And he always thanks the developers. He always thanks people. He's a nice guy, even though he like talks about dicks and shit like that, right? And he's off the wall insane. But yeah, I think that's why. I think that's also one of the keys as to why he's doing so well, is because he's just like he always thanks the audience when they're done. He's not just like signing off being like, yeah, fuck all you or something like that, right? I think that's good. I think the gaming industry needs a little bit more of that.
I definitely agree. Like I watched a bit of, interesting enough that you mentioned Total Biscuit, because I believe during the Video Game Awards 2014, he actually beat PewDiePie in, I think, most popular YouTuber or something, like, or most common like community member, or basically trying to. So, but I think that was more so that he was kind of gaining a lot of momentum. A lot of people were just wanting to see a different face rather than PewDiePie kind of sweeping all the awards, because I mean, everyone already knows PewDiePie. It's just Total Biscuit's still, I guess, not as big as PewDiePie, but I mean, he addresses a different audience. But I totally agree. I've watched both both YouTubers. Sometimes it's a bit heavy to watch Total Biscuit. Sometimes he gets really in depth into like certain topics, and it does. You know, sometimes you just want to watch a video to just relax, and you know, kind of see, oh, you know, what other games are.
I have no idea how you find PewDiePie relaxing.
Well, okay, I don't watch PewDiePie. Usually, I watch Inside Gaming with Machinima, which actually they're actually not with Machinima as of this week, which actually kind of segues interestingly into what I want to mention or talk about is like we're starting to see the rise of what appears to be YouTube personalities, YouTube individuals. So, gaming journalism is now kind of in an awkward situation where they're not sure how they want to handle themselves. And I mean, we're starting to see some of that being shifted. Earlier this month, IGN had Greg Miller, Colin Moriarty, and some other guys. They basically just left IGN and they started doing their own thing called Kind of Funny Gaming, or Kind of Funny Games. Basically, they're doing a mix of just casual podcasts and stuff, and then streaming, Twitch streaming, whatever. Then there's also Joystick, I believe, is closing. They're just shutting down their doors. So it seems like anytime this happens, individuals do arise and they kind of just do their own thing, which seems to be striving better than major networks or major journalism companies. I don't know. What's your take on that?
Well, I think that calling it, like, just to move back a bit, calling it video game journalism always, to me, doesn't feel like 100% accurate. Okay. And even a lot of people in, like, who do that sort of feel the same way. Just because journalism usually implies, like, finding a story, like, in writing a history or, like, an
article about it.
Yeah, an article.
Fair enough.
Video game journalists aren't, like, going to Africa and figuring out how some problem is being solved or whatever, right? They're just kind of like, oh, this game came out. I'm play it.
Yeah, it's like
not trying to like disrespect their
but
just journalism is something different.
Even they like a lot of like even Greg Miller back on IGN, he used to say, I'm not really like a journalist. I'm kind of like an enthusiast. Like, because even like for example, let's go back to IGN. Their top articles, my guess, is reviews, press releases, and lists.
Yeah.
Top 50, whatever lists.
Just like summarized 100% of their work.
Yeah, that's like every once in a while they'll get like, I just became a father and that changed my gaming habits because of this. You'll
Yeah.
get that once every week. Polygon is probably the closest to video game journalism because they have like a new opinion piece up almost every day where
Right.
they're like, but for the most part,
Even Kotaku, I've noticed, has started to do that a
Yeah.
lot more, where they will
yeah,
Yeah.
like their writers will just dig around the internet for cool video game related stories.
and that's
Which
more
is- yeah.
yeah. But the history has been like reviews, press releases. This is when this is coming out, and lists. So
Yeah.
I think people realizing that they can do that on YouTube by themselves and have like their own creative agency is really important for a lot of these people.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I feel like that's another reason why, because I don't know about you guys, but I used to really, really follow GameSpot, and then a bunch of stuff happened there, and I started following one up, and then eventually I just kind of gained like this collection of reviewers that I would follow, right? Like I would go to, and when Anthony Gallegos was at IGN, I would read his reviews. I don't give two shits about most of the reviews at IGN, but if there's a guy that I know who works there and I find that his opinions kind of work with mine quite a bit, I'm going to read it regardless. I'm going to follow that score, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why this YouTuber craze is kind of going a lot better, because it's getting more popular because you get to know somebody a lot more. Like when you watch it, especially with PewDiePie and stuff, like you see his genuine reactions when he's playing the game, right? Like when he screams at the top of his lungs and jumps like 3 feet in the air from a horror game, he's not faking that. I mean, he's probably acting a little bit crazier than he feels, but, and even same with like Total Biscuit and stuff. When he talks, like, you get to know his gaming habits. You get to, if he doesn't like something, you can, kind of write it off because, I like it, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Well, when you go to IGN and stuff like that, most of the time the review that you read is just kind of this faceless IGN review, unless you really pay attention.
And not only that, like the reviews offer a certain dimension to showing a game. Gameplay videos and like actual personalities playing the game is like, you feel like you're hanging out with them kind of thing. So it feels a lot more intimate, and it's just like, oh wow, that's a really cool game. I want to do something like this. Or maybe even like certain YouTube personalities will hold like community events where they can get all their fans together to kind of play with them. It kind of actually, in some cases, sells the game better than the reviews do.
I've always been a big fan of GiantBomb.com because they've been doing this whole like play along with us for quite some time. Ever since they came out, they've been doing quick looks, and their quick looks are literally just half an hour to hour long gameplay where they just get 2 or 3 people to sit down and play a game, and then it's just honest opinions. And you do get there's a certain amount of, because when somebody writes a review, they can tweak the words, right? Like they can write a sentence, look at it, not necessarily agree with it, and then continue. While when you're on like a recording, what you say comes out, right? Like and there's no going back on that. So if somebody says, if somebody's like genuinely excited while playing a game, but then they're like, oh yeah, but it's not so great. But you can sense that excitement. You can sense like the fun that they're having, or vice versa, right? Where like you kind of get the idea that, oh, this person's bored while they're playing it or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What I also found really interesting was I believe it was Skate 3. I remember reading an article somewhere saying that the Skate 3 was like a really old skating game made by EA, and they basically didn't really have many digital copies of it left. And actually, as of when PewDiePie started playing it, that game actually gained momentum and actually sold like really heavily, like even 5 years after it, or 6 years or whatever it was after its release.
It's because that game's fantastic.
Yeah, I remember you really liked those games, though.
They're so much fun. They're just like, they're the kind of game that's just silly fun.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think with this in mind, I think a lot of companies are starting to look towards YouTube personalities to kind of be like, here, play our game, and because the future could potentially be just YouTube. Like basically, you'd have you say you're on like the Xbox store or like the PlayStation store, and you might see like your favorite YouTube personalities playing the game rather than just static screenshots or whatever.
Yeah, good. It's something unique to video games. Like you can't really do this with like movies or TV shows or books. Like
Yeah,
it's really something unique to video gaming. So
yeah,
I think a lot of people are gravitating to that mentality, like you said, of it's like I'm playing like it's like I'm sitting on my friend's couch and we're playing this game together.
Yeah.
It's even you're starting to get that even in other forms of media consumption too, because if you look at even like the most popular computer hardware channels, right? Like the YouTube channels are by far the most popular. You still got like your classics like Non-Tech and stuff like that, but I mean Linus Tech Tips, Hardware Canucks, OC3D, like they're kind of the big three. And there's also like Tech of Tomorrow and stuff like that. There's or even like Marcus Brownlee, Austin Evans, things like that. Like you just this is becoming a big thing in just all media. I wouldn't even just say in video games, right?
Yeah. It's interesting to see where all this shifts, and it's also the fact that they're able to convey what they want to say in very layman's terms, so that way they increase their demographic more broad, in a much broader sense. So yeah, it's true. It might not just be video gaming specific. It could just be in all forms of media. Kind of difficult in some, but so far technology's taking the lead in it, and I guess we'll see how that kind of evolves. I don't know how long it will take to start seeing other effects in other forms of media, but I guess we'll see.
Yep.
YouTube is cool.
YouTube is cool. All right, so on to our next topic. I actually stumbled upon this. Apparently, there are alleged leaked screenshots of the PS4 Slim.
Ooh, I didn't see this.
Yeah. So nobody knows if these are real, but apparently this looks pretty plausible.
All right, here's what it looks like. It looks like a PlayStation 4, and it's slightly smaller, and it's black, and there's probably a whole bunch of colors that only come out in Japan and not in North America. That's what it is.
So I really don't like the way that this is, with the power button and stuff are positioned. That's weird. I don't know. So for those who haven't seen it, the way that it's positioned is so the PS4 currently, or I guess you're showing it right now.
Yeah, I'm showing it, but you can talk about it anyways.
So yeah, so the PS4 has a slant, but the disc insertion is in the front. This is weird because the disc insertion, the power button, and reset, I'm assuming, or I don't know what that other button is. I'm assuming it's like eject, on the side. So that means that I have to have enough space beside my system to fit a disc.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
That's silly.
Because the front of it is basically where it says Sony PS4.
Yeah, so it's either I have to like position this thing sideways, or
yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I really don't like that. Hopefully that's not the way, because that's just weird design.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Evan. When you first bought your PS4, did it take you 10 hours to find out where the power button was? Because I definitely sat there with my brand new PlayStation 4, super excited to play it, and I was like, how the fuck do you turn this thing on? It's like this tiny little, it's not a tactile button, it's like one of those like...
Oh, the touches. Yeah. The 360 started doing that.
And it's literally, I'm not kidding you, the power symbol is maybe size 4 font. Like, it is slim.
I still have no, like, whenever I try to turn on my PS4, I basically just kind of, like, slap the front, and then, like, a disc comes out, and I'm like, no, I don't know which one's the power button. It's dusty enough so it's like, yeah, they're both just black, dusty things.
Sony.
Hit one and hope it works.
One
I do
step.
like the way the PS4 looks, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much the only complaint I really have about it is that it is a almost stackable system that isn't stackable because it would look weird. And also, it is impossible to find the inputs in the back without looking at it. Like if you're just like with my PS3, I can kind of like take an HDMI cable, like run my hand, find it, and plug it in. But with a PS4, no way at all. It's just like, yeah, I guess this is maybe it where it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, PlayStation 4 Slim. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think the I was watching it on a YouTube video. That's how I heard about this article. I'll source it, Inside Gaming. I watch them a lot. But anyways, so they were saying that there's a potential announcement for the PS4 Slim for E3 2015. I don't know how likely that is. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, like I'm looking at the pictures and they look pretty good. Like they're not some like super blurry like thing that was taken with a potato. But the only problem is it's the PlayStation isn't even. I don't think it's even. When did it come out? It's not even 2 years old.
Yeah.
No.
And it is selling like crazy. So usually,
I also, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry,
I was just gonna say usually these are sort of like, for the people who didn't like first get it, like the early adopters. This is our new SKU. It's usually cheaper, and it usually has updated specs so that or cheaper parts, so that they can make a little bit more money. But I don't see them needing to like make it cheaper or to make a new thing.
I would also like to give a giant red flag to Sony, being like, if they want to come out with a console, they should have more games for it before you come out with a revamp of it.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I have no fucking idea how they did this, but they are winning this console like generation with no games.
I have
nothing but promises.
Exactly.
I have 3 games for my PS4. I have a lot of games.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is in development. Oh!
I don't know. I think we've already talked about this new console generation, but it's pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
For me personally.
I still don't have a new gen console, so I mean, I guess I'm equally as disappointed. But yeah, I don't know. It seems kind of. I agree with you guys. It does seem really rushed. I don't know the legitimacy of whether or not this is something that may come out for E3 2015.
Yeah.
When it comes to leaks, it's always, something you have to be aware of. And like what Evan says, it does seem kind of dumb that the way that it's facing, it's on the side now rather than the front.
Something that makes more sense to me is that this is a real PS4 Slim. It's just leaked 2 years in advance because Sony is terrible at keeping secrets.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be terrible.
And
we all know their policy on security.
Oh yeah.
do you remember when the PlayStation 3 was like, yeah, it's really hard to hack? There's like this random number generator, but it was the same number on every console.
Yeah. It was so it wasn't exactly the same number. It's just that there was basically 2 numbers that were constantly generated like every 2 seconds. But based on the first one, you could calculate the second one.
Oh.
So it's like, yes, it's just one random number.
Right.
Right? So it's like, yeah, it just guessed 1 to 10 or like whatever characters, which is easy to do in, 2 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
PlayStation.
Yeah.
One step forward, 436 steps back. I love these guys.
Man, yeah, how do you even? Because it looks like an employee took these pictures. I guess someone's just going rogue. I don't know. Do Slims usually come out cheaper, or are they usually more expensive than the original?
cheaper.
They're never, yeah. They're usually cheaper, and or they have like better value, like they'll include like an extra controller, or like there'll be
Okay.
a bundle
Okay.
associated, like a free game.
Because
Yeah.
what I'm finding interesting now is that it seems like the Xbox One is relying on promotions to keep their price low
Yeah.
to kind of sell their console. I don't know if this is what Sony's answer would be to that. To kind of just be like, here's the PS4 Slim.
Yeah, maybe.
Because at the rate that graphic cards and processors are getting more efficient and more powerful, I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see the Slim come out a lot earlier. I also remember having a discussion with my coworkers regarding whether or not consoles should be a yearly release, kind of like phones
Oh no, I would
or like
hate that.
tablets or something. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, just because I'm kind of always used to the fact that new consoles is like something that happens between 3 or 4 years, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of made sense because hardware is always getting cheaper and faster. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
If consoles were a yearly thing,
Yeah.
I'm down for it. Um, I'm down for it if it's handled properly. The problem is there's so much room for error.
Right.
I like the idea of. See, the problem is I feel like most phones get it wrong. Like most phone companies get it wrong. Where if you're going to come up with a new phone every year, the only way that you're going to I would be fine with upgrading a console every year if it was relatively inexpensive, right? And I just don't think that would happen necessarily. Like for phones, I really enjoyed the Nexus one because I could just kind of upgrade every 2 years for relatively cheap costs and have a brand new phone. I'd be fine with that for consoles, right? If it was just every couple of years I upgrade my console, and like every 2 or 3 years or whatever I upgrade my PS4 to like the PS4.2 or something,
Hmm.
and I just I get access to the same games, but now they'll just run better.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. The problem with like the phone argument is that people forget that I think the general public values like a smartphone a lot more than they do a video game console.
Yeah.
And
That
also,
too.
like, let's be honest, 65% of the reason people get new phones is kind of more of like a, not necessarily like a fashion, but like a trendy statement. It's kind of being up with it. I can't say it properly. It's like it shows that you're like being, to some people it's important to be up with the times for like getting the
Oh.
new iPhone,
Yeah.
as opposed no one, a lot of people aren't like, man, the iPhone has like the new like A2 processor, and like it's gonna run all my apps faster. They're just like, no, like I want the new iPhone because it's the new iPhone. It's the new
Right.
Apple product. I need it
Right.
because I love Apple. So I don't think that there are as many people. Well, maybe there are.
I think it could become that though.
Yeah.
It's just difficult to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I do say, as you were just saying, because like the demographic for a smartphone is very different from a demographic to like the video game console. First off, the size. So manufacturing wise, like you might be losing out because it's like you're not
Yeah.
making as much. You're making like smaller amounts. So I mean that's one way of looking at it. But
And also developing for like Android or iOS, I think doesn't take 4 years like it does to take for
Yeah.
a thing. So I think having that added challenge of, all right, we have to sort of be able to make it run on the 0.2 to the 0.4, but the 0.4 is like, I think it's easier for developers to say, this is what you're working with for the next 4 or 5 years.
yeah.
Make us games so that, and we'll both make money. I think it's easier
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah, and generally speaking, it's like when developers are given like specifics about what they have to develop for, they're usually given like usually consoles in theory are easier to develop for because all the hardware is consistent.
Hmm.
So I mean, there's that. So I don't know. It seems I don't know how I feel about the PS4 Slim coming out already, but it's I'm hoping that the design is wrong and they can fix whatever Evan just pointed out because that is starting to really bug me now. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's and also the other issue is like am I gonna trade in my console or is it just gonna like start stacking on in my living room or something or like Jenga?
Just buy a PC. I'm really turning into that kind of a guy. I don't really like it, but
I am too.
It's becoming hard not to.
Yeah.
Right. With the PS3 and stuff, it was still very much I have a PS3 because I want to play my Sony exclusives. And for the PS4, like right now, the only game that I kind of am happy that I played on my PS4, I'm gonna say is Infamous. But I also would not say that game is like a game that you have to play.
Yeah.
Right. It was good. I'm not gonna say it was bad by any means.
But it's not like the Uncharted one where you looked at it, you played it, and you're like, pretty much anyone would enjoy this.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Or like Mario, where almost anyone would like this.
Yep.
Yeah. I actually picked up a 360 wireless receiver recently. And I hooked it up to my PC, and I got all my wireless controllers. So I've rejuvenated and reused what I used to use. So I mean, there's that. And I also got like recharge docks to basically charge that. But yeah,
cool.
It's right beside my Master Chief helmets and stuff. They're just kind of stacked right there. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes with whatchamacallit, the PS4 Slim, and I still can't decide what I want for whether or not the console should come out yearly, because like both arguments are there. I guess at the end it's just too expensive. It's just not worth it. How are you liking those vegetables?
I don't know. I do not know, Captain.
Yeah. I think that should be our slogan. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not very committal. No one can be like, you're wrong. I like that.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so I think that does it for things that happened this week. Not much has happened, which I mean is good or bad. Oh, who knows?
Although one of Evan's favorite developers, CD Projekt Red, is taking a stand against paid DLC.
Actually?
Yes.
Yeah, they're like, yo, we got all this DLC planned. This is going to be all free. Because that's how DLC should be.
They've been doing that for a while, though.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Because they, even when Witcher 2 came out, there was some DRM on it that like drastically reduced the frame rates of the game. And instead of being like, oh yeah, they just flat out went, all right, yeah, we fucked up. Like, we hurt your gaming experience because we were trying to, protect our asses. So to apologize to everybody, they literally just gave people the game. Like, sorry, not the game, sorry, all the DLC.
I'm actually just reading about it on PC Gamers. They're saying, so it says, CD Projekt Red announced in November plans to release 16 pieces of DLC for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt at no charge. Nothing too big, just skins, yada yada yada. Yeah, obviously, I'm trying to figure out if they released another statement.
What I remember them saying is basically like, we're gamers too, and you paid for this product, so we owe you like these things.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, I don't necessarily agree with their, like their wording, but I do appreciate their sentiment, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're a really cool company.
Yeah.
They are. I really like them. They do nothing but cool things, and The Witcher looks to be fantabulous.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm hoping that more of the industry moves to what they're doing, because it's getting really hard to justify paying. Like, I remember Company of Heroes 2 did a $40 single player DLC,
Assault on Ardennes.
which looks really interesting, but I mean, not $40 interesting. Because $40 is pretty much like a full-scale game. It's a bit steep for DLC, and it's not quite an expansion either, because it doesn't look like something that you would take for more than like, 4 hours maybe. So, I don't know. Seems kind of tricky to me. I don't know. I'm hoping more DLC becomes free, because it's getting really annoying to go through a game and it's like all these things are locked, and at the end of the day I end up paying like, $200 to get like the full experience of a game.
Yeah.
I'm hoping CD Projekt will change that.
I think they're undoubtedly one of the top 5, if not top 3 developers in the world.
Yeah.
Just in terms of talent.
Oh yeah.
Not even just like gooditude, just talent.
Gooditude.
Yeah, seeing The Witcher 2 being pushed on like last gen consoles is just, and how good it looked is just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're definitely up there. All right. Did you
So
guys?
we can say nice things too about developers.
That's true.
Now we just have to move around to different countries, and we'll be popular like Pewdiepie.
That's not a bad idea. The Game Theorist video was actually very interesting. I should link it to you guys one day. Like, he just said a lot of things, and I was actually very fascinated. I don't remember much though. It's been like 2 years. Maybe a year. I don't remember how long ago I watched it. You do a lot of weird things when you're stuck in school and you don't want to study. Just look up videos.
Yep. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I'm in school.
I've been still in school.
Poor thing. I think that'll wrap it up for us. Is there anything you guys want to bring up?
Not really. Oh, I played Dying Light. It's a good game.
Oh yeah?
Oh, yeah?
I was surprised. I was surprised.
Actually, because that came out, that's by the same guys who did Dead Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that game was alright.
Shit.
That game was alright. It
Yeah.
was no.
It was buggy. Like the general consensus was this is a fun game. Too bad that I can't play it because the bugs keep breaking it
Yeah.
or locking doors.
I
But-
couldn't get into it. I tried to. I just couldn't.
Basically, like my short like Twitter review would come with a disclaimer. I've only played a few hours, but the parkour works pretty well, and sometimes when you meet zombies, I literally felt uncomfortable. It's not like boo scare. It's like the zombie looks at you in the face and you can see it in its eyes, and it's just thinking, I'm going to kill that man, and you're like, oh, and you gotta run.
I know that the I think day and night mechanic seemed really important in one of the trailers that I watched.
Yeah.
How prominent is that in
So
in the
the
game?
first nighttime sequence was story based, and nothing really happened. The second one, it was still story based, but that's when they introduced like the scary stuff that happens at night, and then after that, there's like a clock that just goes.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime it's night, but the thing about nighttime is you get double experience, and it's really
Oh,
helpful.
really?
So you kind of want to be out at night, but they're like these super terrifying, like terrifying zombies. So
The whole night thing reminds me of I played Dead Rising 3.
Yeah.
Not too long ago. That game also kind of surprised me because I really did not like the original Dead Risings.
Oh, that was the one with the mechanic dude, like the with the biker jet.
Yeah.
I heard people like that one.
Sorry, which one that was?
What? The most recent one.
Oh, okay.
What about it like reminded you of that game, or what about Dying Light?
So it's basically, honestly, they're basically the same game. Just one has parkour mechanics. Dying Light seems to have more RPG mechanics, right? So like, you see damage that pops up and stuff. Because with Dead Rising, it's very much just you hit stuff until it dies.
Yeah.
Dead Rising has like a combination thing going on. Although in Dead Rising you do level up and stuff, they also have like a nighttime mechanic. So when the nighttime comes, the zombies get stronger. That's heavy quote stronger. Because one of the I don't know. It was fun though. It's fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm really digging this game though. So, if you've been on the fence because there are no reviews of it out yet,
It was also kind of scary when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when the previous game that the company made was kind of shit.
Yeah. Which is
So
why
it's
I
like-
was really nervous. This is why my disclaimer is I haven't like beaten the game yet. So maybe I'll find. But
Yeah,
my first few hours, I'm enjoying it.
It was interesting too. I remember a lot of journalists were kind of tweeting out saying that they haven't received review codes by any chance, so that's why they haven't reviewed it. Which usually is a bad sign. But I guess I don't know. Seems to be okay so far.
The best thing I can maybe say is maybe something happened in production. It doesn't seem
Yeah.
like this case where they know it's a bad game, so they're like just waiting until it's released.
There could have been something bad was really happening, and they were just stalling and trying to fix the bugs,
Yeah.
and I guess they managed
Maybe.
to fix it for release.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Was there a big update?
No, I don't recall a big update. Although I just put it in and then I went to go make food, ate lunch, and then I came back just in case there was a big update. So I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, it's fun. Moving around is fun.
Yeah, I watched a couple videos and it looks like that. I do want to buy it. It's just it's expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have time.
Yeah. I have a lot
And
of things
also,
lined
Witcher
up.
comes out next month, and I resubbed to
No,
WoW.
it's not next month anymore.
Whatever. It's coming out soon.
It's coming in May.
The bigger thing was it's still soon.
Fair
The
enough.
problem is that I resubbed the WoW. Like that's the bigger problem.
But you didn't get that statue. The 10-year statue?
No, I did not get the 10-year statue. I've only been playing this game. Holy shit! I've been playing this game for like 7 years now.
That statue's pretty cool.
Well, man, they came up with a bunch of statues, and I want them all in my pants.
Oh, really? There's like more than one?
Yeah, but also the new WoW. They fixed a lot of shit. This game's really good. Like the game, because I went back and I played Mists of Pandaria, and I got to level 90. I went from 85 to 90 or whatever the thing was, and it was fun. It was definitely fun, but it wasn't game changing. This is a game changing expansion. Like the game. So they added the whole garrison thing, so you have your own base, and you can send dudes on missions, and like
Oh, wow.
you can actually like train minions to like, okay, you're going to be a leather worker, you're going to be a this, so now you can have all the professions and stuff like that. It's good. It's really good. And this is actually one of the first times. This also might be because I'm playing a different class because I switched servers to play with a friend. But every single time an expansion came out, I was playing a paladin, Retribution Paladin, for those who want to know. I always felt like my class was being dumbed down a lot whenever the next expansion came out. Like, you know, they would reduce the skills, reduce the stats. And I switched to Rogue, which is, I think, probably a little bit more of a skill-based class. But there's definitely more going on. I feel like with Retribution, I could just kind of like face roll 1, 2, 3, 4 and do crazy DPS. But with Rogue, like I actually, if I don't do stuff properly, I'm at the bottom of the DPS rank. But if I do stuff correctly, I'm top, right? And that's and also I've actually wiped. That's a good thing too. Like the last couple ones, you could just stand still and win. This one, like, you actually have to do stuff. And it's also really cool going back to kind of the old school like World of Warcraft art style. Because like now we're back to the Iron Horde, so like the weapons and the armor and stuff, it's all old school WoW art style. Because it was kind of getting a little weird with the whole like Jade Empire looking shit.
Wow.
Right.
Kicking it old.
Yeah, I've never played WoW, so I can't share much.
Want to join? I have a recruiter friend. And level you up fast.
Yeah?
Super fast.
I don't know if I can pay for the subscription.
We'll talk about this later.
It's free to level 20.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We'll talk about this later. Because I will sell you on WoW.
Wow. All
It's
right.
not good radio.
We're not
Wow.
doing. Blizzard is not paying us
Blizzard
to sell
should-
their
yeah.
game right now.
Hey, if Pewdiepie can sell Skate 3, we can sell World of Warcraft.
All
yeah,
right.
for those who used to play WoW and have been thinking about getting back into it, this is the first expansion since Wrath that I actually really I'm really enjoying it. And Wrath was when I played a lot, so it's exciting. I'm excited.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I think that wraps it up for us. I don't. Do you guys have anything else you guys want to mention?
I ran out of vegetables, and I feel healthier.
You should start a Kickstarter to get more vegetables.
A vegetable salad Kickstarter.
The people don't get anything. It's literally just I want more vegetables. Send me vegetables.
And then you get like an Amazon Prime drone just like flying into your house and just drops you a box of vegetables.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for us. What do you guys think about yearly PS4 yearly console releases? What did we first talk about? Oh, what do you guys think the new type of, I guess, shift in media or advertisement? I don't know. Let us know your thoughts